Hello, I'm Todd Blankenbeckler, Manager of Development of our Dolphin Management product, and I'm going to do a short introduction to our new tooth chart, which will be integrated into Treatment Card, and it's going to be released in version 4.0, which we're targeting for September of 2008. I've got Dina Dolphin's tooth chart up on the screen, and the first thing you'll see that is new is there's now a couple new tabs that can display in the split pane window at the bottom of Treatment Card. The one is the actual tooth chart, and this is going to show the information from the most recent tooth chart entry for the patient. Now Dina is a new patient, and this is why you don't see anything entered yet. And also you can configure what we call tooth grids. The most common would be torque chart and bracket height, and this information can be easily displayed in the split pane window down at the bottom. Now let's go ahead and do a visit entry and do some tooth chart work. So I'm going to start a visit entry just like you normally do, and we've added a new tooth chart field type that you will set up in your treatment card, and it's the little tooth icon on the right side of the screen. Now you can put the field anywhere in your grid. It doesn't have to go at the end. So to enter tooth chart information, you'll select the tooth chart information, the tooth chart icon, and you'll bring up tooth chart. Like most of Dolphin Management, much of tooth chart is customizable by you. The items on the left are called chartable items, and all of these items are going to be set up by you. Wires, elastics, bands, and brackets, and all of the lookups that go with each of these items. Now to actually work on a tooth chart for the day, there's a couple ways to do that. One, you can select the item. I'm going to select upper arch. You can select your lookup that's appropriate for the patient, and again, these lists will be configured by you, and you will simply draw that on the tooth chart. It's very simple, and then in the upper right hand corner it tells you what you are working on. I'm right now drawing the upper arch NITI 18 by 25. A second way to draw on the tooth chart, and I really think one of the key ways that tooth chart is going to be really powerful, is to use prescriptions. You will pre-configure standard or default prescriptions for many of your tooth chart items. So for Dina, I'm going to go ahead and apply my Damon prescription for brackets. I'm going to put on a lower NITI wire. Maybe I want to go ahead and start with my standard bracket height. And just for the demo, I'm going to go ahead and draw some elastics. You may not do this on the very first appointment for the patient, but it's really just to show you how the prescriptions work. And by selecting the prescriptions and hitting OK, I've now drawn several items onto the patient's tooth chart. Now this is a starting point, and from here you can change the information for each patient. For example, I'm going to go over to my torque chart, and you will set up the corresponding torque that goes with the appropriate brackets if you find torque chart or torque information important. And maybe you want to change it for this particular patient. So I'm going to select on the left side, I'm going to pick Damon, and I'm going to change my torque to -14 regular, and I'm going to select the teeth where I want to change the torque. And I'll do that for the lowers also. So it is easy to change the information once they've been pulled into the tooth chart from a prescription. Now one thing that we've learned as we've worked on tooth chart is you can end up with a lot of stuff on the screen, and so we've come up with views. So I'm going to go up to the view button, and maybe I want to look at just elastics. Or maybe I just want to look at brackets. Or maybe I just want to look at bracket height. And for bracket height, you may choose to put a graphical indicator on the tooth chart. So this bracket height is at 3. You can also configure it to fill in a correspondent bracket grid. And again, if you need to change this, I'm going to select bracket height. Maybe I want to start at 2.5, and I want to change this information to 2.5. And you'll notice the torque or the bracket height grid is updating automatically. And I can go back to the view to show all charted items. Now, we don't think it's possible for you to build a lookup for every possible situation, and really a request that we heard at our user meeting this year is we really need a way to be able to note unique or odd or just very special situations. So I'm going to go to Annotation, which is a drawing tool, and you can configure different drawing notes or drawing tools. I'm going to pick my blue note, and blue would mean something for you, and I'm going to draw some blue information here and here. And then maybe I want to go make a red note right here and right here. Maybe I want to circle this tooth and this tooth in red. And you'll come up with your own terminology of what blue, red, green, whatever you choose to configure as your annotation. Now, something else that is really nice about Tooth Chart is I can take an item and note something on it. So I'm going to select my note, or where I just drew a red circle around that tooth, and I'm going to add annotation. This is a special note for this annotation. And now I've added to the tooth chart an annotation. And you can put annotation on anything. I can select a bracket, right click, and maybe you've reversed the torque. And you get a little mouse over. And when you click on the Chart Items tab, which is the text information of everything that you've added today, you see the annotations made. You also have mouse over, so I can put your mouse right here. I can wait, and you can see that is a Damon Torque Type D3MX, and you can see the note. I think we leave it up for about 5 seconds, and then we display it. To get it back, you can just move your mouse back on top of it. Once you've entered your your tooth chart information for the day, you can save your work by hitting OK. And now the tooth chart that displays when you open treatment card has been updated. Now, this particular view also has the views that we talked about. I can right click, and maybe I want to look at elastics, or maybe I want to look at brackets, or maybe I want to look at arch wires, or maybe I want to look at everything. And when you close treatment card for the patient, the next time you open treatment card, it's going to display the tooth chart and all the information on the tooth chart. And if you then want to take a look at this in more detail, you can double click, and this will open up the tooth chart, and you can go through and see exactly what's happening. Now remember, tooth charts can only be edited up to midnight on the date that they are made. So after midnight, I can double click and open up the tooth chart, but I can't make any changes until I start a new visit entry. Now, some other pieces of or information you can do in the tooth chart is you can do your extraction requests. It's really pretty simple. I'm going to select the teeth that I want to extract, and I'm going to mark those for extraction. You can mark your missing teeth. You can mark teeth to be uncovered, and I'll do a couple uncover. You can mark implants, and we're working on the crown button, and when we get this released, we'll have a crown option that will display teeth that have a crown. Another really nice feature of Tooth Chart is it's very easy to generate correspondence out of the new Tooth Chart. I'm going to go over to my letters drop-down button, and I've got 2 letters configured to be printed from the Tooth Chart. One is an elastics wear letter, and we've had a lot of requests to include in a letter the graphical tooth chart with the elastics drawn on the tooth chart for patient education. So I'm going to put that in the letter batch. And then we can also easily do an extraction letter from the tooth chart. So I'm going to put those in the letter batch, and just to show you what those can look like, I'm going to go over to my letter batch, select these 2 letters, and I'm going to merge those to screen. So here's what the finished letter can look like. This is the extraction letter, and you can see graphically what the tooth chart looks like, and then you see that the bullet list of the teeth actually marked is also printed automatically. That's a really nice feature. And then I'm going to go look at my elastics letter, and this is what you can do with elastics, And you can configure this a couple different ways. One, I'm showing the teeth to be uncovered, and I'm showing the implants. That's certainly an option, so you don't have to show that if you don't prefer. So that's just how easy it is to do correspondence out of the new tooth chart. What's nice is any of those custom views that you've created in tooth chart, those views can be used in correspondence. So if you want to do a letter and include the brackets in a letter, you can easily do that. Well, that concludes really the general overview of the new tooth chart. I really would like you to log into www.dolphinimaging.com/discussion to post any comments on how to make this better. You're also welcome to log into our demo server to take a look at the tooth chart in a little bit more detail. Thank you very much.